In this video, I'm going to be restoring some tile on a deck where the plywood under the tile has rotted away. So we have to repair the plywood and put down new cement board, then reslope the tile so that the water goes away from the house. All these years, the tile was improperly installed and it sloped towards the house, and that's why you have a water rot condition. So, this is also a customer and friend that I've worked with since 2005 on several projects, and you see several projects named in this image. Each of these projects has a corresponding set of videos if you want to take a look at some of those videos of those projects. All right, let's get started on this one, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Okay, so we have the ceiling removed down here in the second floor bathroom, and we are trying to determine what kind of shape this plywood is in. As you can see, it is rotted out under the door jamb. Then we've got a vent pipe coming in there too, right in the middle of it. And that rot there. So we cut it out.
Several varieties of spiders. You got
Yeah.
wolf spiders and mini spiders.
Okay, so we are working on our repair for the floor up there. You see we have our supports there, and we still need to put them under this new piece of plywood here. But what I'm going to do for this one here is put in a larger piece of plywood underneath and glue that up, and then put a couple of 2x6 supports under that, because that has a little more damage under it, but we can't get to it because it's under a wall, and we're not trying to do any invasive work. It's just a tiny area that's not structural, but so anyway, we'll fix it, and then subfloor will go over some 3/4 inch plywood goes above that layer too. So yeah, anyway, you can see we put a 16 by 10.5 inch wide strip of plywood there, and then we've got that diagonal cut here, and then we have some more repair that we're doing up in this area here. You can see just a little bit of a glue splooge up there, a couple of nails where there was a board under a door jamb, so we have to replace the two bottom sill plates under the door jamb, which will just slide in on top of the plywood. But we're going to put a 2x8 flat under here that will screw into the side of the joist here, and then we'll get some 4-inch or 6-inch timberlock screws and screw up into the sill plate, and that will support that nicely. Okay, so now I have to get up there and measure these and cut my pieces and get things in place. All right. Okay, so we have our plywood has all been replaced in here under these two walls. We did that from underneath, and a lot of fun to do.
and now we have to remove this grout or mortar from this Durock. And so the way we're doing it is with a 4-inch grinder with a ceramic face grinding blade on it. So we do it just like this. I'll show you for a minute before my phone gets clouded over, dusted over. Okay, switch on. Phone down for a minute. And just like this. Okay, so anyway, that's what we're trying to do, is to remove the old mortar, and we'll try and leave the old membrane intact, but the old membrane is really not very good. We're going to put down some new membrane, and so then when we get this flattened out, we'll put in our new Durock that's going to go under the door. We still have to replace the sill plate. There's a double sill plate under the wall here, so we got to replace that. We'll just hammer new pieces of 2x6 in here. We'll glue the bottom, and it'll just kind of slide in, and then glue the next one, and it'll slide in, and that'll be good. And then we will fit Durock into the triangle back there, into here, and then we will skim coat the entire thing. Then we're going to put 4 coats of RedGuard down over everything, and then we'll put on the tile and mortar it down, and it will be good as new, only now instead of being sloped towards the house, it'll be sloped away from the house. I don't know why they didn't get the slope right, but it caused a lot of damage over the years. You can see how the bottoms of the door jambs had rotted out, and then the membrane of the seal under the tile didn't really work all that well. The problem is that they've got a large, huge tile decks on the property here. There's a big deck out front of this, and then another one down below that's even bigger, and it would cost $30,000 to rip all this up and then put down new Durock and retile it if they want to do that, or just put down a new substrate and put down a either a sheet deck covering, or Gecko Flex, or Spantex, or any elastomeric type of coating. Okay, so let's continue on with this. I got to get this ground out of here, fit my new Durock, skim coat, and do a bunch of other stuff. And so we mortar, we'll fill these little voids, fill and tape these voids in the plywood, and then we'll lay our Durock over that, and everything will be good. And then yeah, okay, let's get hopping. Okay, and there you go. We have our Durock mortared in place. Everything is the way it needs to be now.
And you can see that all of the old mortar is ground up off of the membrane.
Yeah. There. Okay. And then just kind of mortar leveled out the floor there. Okay. And tomorrow is tile. We are just about to put in the last 3 pieces here. No, we're the last 2 pieces. So we've put in these, and that, and a little piece in here. And so we're going to try and get these last 2 pieces in, and then grout them tomorrow morning. And then the rains are supposed to come Friday night, so by Friday night the grout should be set up enough to withstand rain. Anyway, so yeah, we have our red guard on. We have the plywood down and mortar pressed into all the gaps and taped on the mortar or on the plywood. And then we have 1/4-inch troweled mortar and laid the Durock into that. And then we skim coated the Durock and put 3 coats of red guard, and now we are putting down a skim coat of mud onto the red guard, and then we are troweling the backs of the tiles, and then also to ensure that we have a proper slope, we are using spacers to positively elevate the tile. So we are going with 2 spacers here, and that gives us a tile slope which was not here before, but we have just a tiny bit. Well, it's actually kind of showing level right now, so we may need to put that 3rd piece in, because down here we have slope, but up here we don't, so we got to put another piece of spacer to lift these ends higher. We've got 1, 2, and right now we have 2 here, but we're going to put 3 because 2 is not enough. Okay, so let's get the last couple pieces in and finish. Okay, so we are done. We have floated some mortar out into a floor there to kind of fill a low spot, and we replaced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tiles that were sloping inward toward the house. So we tore up the subfloor and replaced some rot damage, and then we spaced up the tiles here so that there is an 1/8 inch per foot slope in the tiles now. And then in next week we'll put the new doorway in, and that will take care of it. It'll be a whole new entryway and will not have water intrusion anymore. But so you can see we have our tile spacers to keep things uniform. All of our grout lines are matching up nicely. And so instead of water flowing towards the door, now it will flow towards the edge out here to where the sunset is. Okay, my knife is messed up. And so there's a couple of extra pieces of tile, but we're not going to use those. So anyway, yeah, we are good to go. Looks very nice, much better. Okay, so this is the bathroom downstairs under that doorway where the tile deck floor was leaking into. So we dug it out over here, and we have a treated 2x8 that is bolted up into the wall above and then screwed into the joist on the side here. So that is all taken care of. Then we've got a new piece of plywood up there coming across, and that is where we removed all the rotted floor, and that comes on over to here. And then we've got a couple of flat studded 2x4s up there that are supporting this, and so we've doubled up the plywood under the door jamb and then put the 2x4 supports under that, so we have a lot of support up there. And then we put the Durock in above,
and everything's looking good. So we had to tear out this ceiling here. You can just see little remnants of where the water had come in, and so that's all history now. And they didn't really know because there was a tarp up here that kept the water from coming down until there was enough water up there that the tarp ends here, and it began flowing into where the joint for the sheetrock on the ceiling was. So anyway, we've got so they didn't get water down here until there was a sizable pool of water on the tarp. Okay, so there you go. That is how we fixed the rotted out floor under the deck, tile surface deck. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed watching this repair. See you on the next video.